We're rolling.
What's up? It's Sammy, the Spanish guy Guevara, and new TNT champion. And you, yes, you, right now are listening to the
Bob Culture Podcast.
Bob Culture Podcast.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Nothing between the lines of the page or at a time. Forgiveness, inspirations with its angel bell and a line. Nothing, no second chance or redemption can be found. 'Cause you can't run the devil and the devil is running you down.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into a very special Vegan Legion edition of the VCP. He already popped for that one, guys. Please welcome in someone who broke the internet in recent weeks after appearing on both Monday Night Raw and AEW. Please welcome in Mr. Leo Sparrow. Leo, thanks for a few minutes, man. How are you, bro?
I'm doing great, man. I had a very good week.
Yeah.
Recently. So, yeah, I've been having fun lately.
Yeah, we'll talk all about it, man. It's wild because I was saying off air, we have some mutual friends, like not even mutual wrestling fans, just in real life. My old college roommate, as a matter of fact. So we kind of connected. I woke up Tuesday morning and I see you being hoisted by almost everywhere on the internet. And sure enough, my friend had reached out. It's like, oh, you interview all the wrestlers. Like, have you met him yet? And I haven't. And you're a creative guy. Or Creative Pro guy too. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but I don't want to bury the lead here, man. I'm so glad that we got to connect. We got to talk about right out the gate, working with the likes of Almost, man. That's a tall task. No pun intended, man. What was that experience like for you getting that tap on the shoulder?
It was crazy. It was between me and a few of the other extras that were booked to be there for the day.
Yeah.
And they chose me and they just said, congratulations, you're going to be wrestling on Monday Night Raw tonight. And I said, whom? All right, awesome. Thank you. Who am I going to be wrestling? He said, Omos. And I said, oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, that's the right answer. Yeah.
Yeah. It was definitely nerve wracking, but I was oddly comfortable standing in the ring because I saw a lot of people out there. There were like 10,000 people at the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, but I didn't see a lot of faces. So it really made me feel pretty comfortable. And there was like 45 seconds where I was standing in the ring before the match started. Yep. Where they had a promo going. So like I got to catch my breath and look around and soak it in for a second. And I'm really just ground myself.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. What was not to pull back the curtain too much, man, I'll be very respectful of that. But what was like the backstage experience like for you? If you want to talk about, be politically correct, of course, man.
Sure. It was good. It was normal. I mean, it's weird to see all these people that you've watched on TV forever. Just walk around and be normal people.
Yeah, that's it, man. And I'm so glad. And then within like the same week or very close to that, you worked with the Acclaimed in that video. Our good friends from GOPRO, I want to give them credit because they're amazing. Sesko, Frank, all those guys, man, they've given me opportunities. Love those guys. Tell us what that was like working with them and creating. First of all, Stang is my favorite thing in the world right now. So let's talk about that. But no, really talk about working with GOPRO and the Acclaimed. What was that like for you?
Yeah, GOPRO are real good professionals. They help out with everything. They're always there. I see them a lot. I show up to a lot of things. Working with Max and Anthony was great. Max trained me for the most part at Creative Pro. He's a day one Creative Pro student. Yep. And sometimes I go to the Wrestle Pro, the Creative Pro New Jersey school. And Bowens was one of the trainers there before he moved too. So I train with both of them at some point in my training.
That's awesome. Yeah, Bones is a great guy. And tell us a little bit about working with Creative Pro, because there's so many amazing products that we get to see getting that opportunity on Monday Night Raw, AEW, whatever it is. A lot of what they touch turns right to gold. It's amazing.
Yeah, I love being at Creative Pro. I think that there's no better school, honestly, in the US. There's just looking at the track record. I just have this feeling that if I keep doing what I'm doing, then there's really no chance of failure. If I keep showing up and I keep putting the work in, it's just like there's only one way to go.
You're off to a great start, man. How long you been doing this for?
Just about a year and a half.
Are you serious? Wow,
Yeah,
good for you, bro.
2020 during the pandemic, which is weird. I started training during the pandemic, so there were like no shows running. So by the time shows started back up, I had a few months experience already. So I felt like I had a little bit of a step ahead. I wasn't like missing out on much with shows that were running, and I wasn't ready yet. So by the time shows started coming back up, I made my live debut on our July show. I want to say it was Return of the Cap. And yeah, by that time it was like, all right, you're ready. First live show back. You're going to make your debut. That was fun.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I think we just like kind of miss each other because I'm always here at like Wrestle Pro or Rahway. I'm like more New Jersey and stuff like that. Like I know you have the different locations and all that, man. So I'm sure we'll see you around here one day. In fact, speaking of that, let's talk about Ispw. It's crazy. It's another like within that same week. I'm like, oh, Leo's here. Like we talked online. Like it was so good to meet you. You gave some stick. It was wild. You gave some stickers, and I see you making your way to the ring. The kids love you. First of all, that was amazing. And I see you throwing stuff as you're going to the ring. I'm like, oh, he must be throwing out pins or stickers. Like what's going on here? I talked to you after, and I believe you said you were throwing spinach. Tell us a little bit about that.
That's baby spinach. Yep. I was always told that you gotta make your character known within the first 5-10 seconds of you coming through the curtain. So if you see this guy decked out in all green, throwing spinach in your face, you're like, okay, I know what this guy is. So yeah, gotta get myself known, really.
Yeah, and that goes along with the vegan thing, the vegan legion. I gotta ask you this, man. I'm assuming you are vegan in real life.
Yes.
So you probably know all like the great vegan spots and all that kind of stuff, man. But I did want to ask you this. I remember Daniel Bryan Danielson, American Dragonson, as we call him here on the show. I don't know if he still is a vegan, but I remember in ROH, he was a vegan and it was tricky. It's like, how do you put on weight? Like, how do you, maintain this diet for like wrestling shape, working with these bigger guys and stuff, man. And he always talked about it and he was always able to do that. Obviously you're a younger guy coming up. Like, how are you able to balance that diet with wrestling?
Sure. So, I think I'm in better shape now than I was before I went vegan because after you're going vegan, you're like, oh, where do you get your protein from? And you have that in the mind. It's like, I got to get my protein in. So I have I do tofu, seitan, tempeh. Vegan protein powder is like my best friend. I use it in almost everything. So just being so mindful of, oh, I need to get my protein in is really, it's a good foundation.
That's awesome, man. And do you stay away from like soy and stuff like that, or there's like different things really. You can do? Yeah, there's like a little bit of everything. So you got it all figured out, and you got like a vegan spot that you like to go to or want to shout out or anything like that.
I like to make my own stuff. I like to this morning I had a whole block of tofu and like a tofu egg scramble substitute.
Oh, cool.
I like to play around and see what I like, see what I don't like. I'm still learning myself too. So
yeah, hey man, it's working for you. You're doing great. Again, you connected immediately with the crowd at Ispw. I got to shout out Standalone Wrestling, Chad Minez. That's where I got my start. So thankful for Chad, first ever BCP Hall of Famer. But I believe you will be at Standalone Wrestling Presents Winter Blast this Saturday in Pennsylvania. I believe it's a rumble of some sort. Tell us what it's like or your feelings being excited about working with Standalone Wrestling, a great company.
I feel great. They have a lot of good shows. I know they partner with SWF. I know Chad runs Pro Wrestling After Dark. So I know they have a lot of good and well-meaning shows. This is my first standalone show, and it is an over-the-top rope elimination match. I think it's like 7 or 8 guys, and some of them are some guys that I've wrestled before at WrestlePro. So I know some of the guys there, and it's going to be a good time. I plan on winning.
Did you find, and that's awesome, and shout to them that show, guys, if you're in that area, Pennsylvania, please check out the show. Come see Leo and all the great talent there. Dina Steele is going to be there. I believe Sandman's advertised for the show. Shameless promo. Get your tickets now. Did you find that after your appearances on, obviously Raw and AEW, that the phone started ringing a little bit? Because now I'm seeing you more coming towards our area a little bit, man. Like what was that like for you? I definitely got a little more attention and a lot of messages after being on Raw and AEW, sharing the articles, things like that.
which is good and bad. I was at a
Right.
show yesterday with one of the guys that I started with, and the difference between us is he might be a better wrestler than I am, but I
Got
had
the
all the
spotlight.
buttons. So
Yeah.
that the way that we were treated was different, even though we were at the same level. It was interesting and confusing.
Ah.
A lot of different emotions. So, but we're still learning.
Yeah, and you know what? Credit to you for being aware of that. I always pay attention, especially in this business, to how people handle that success. And you seem to have a good head on your shoulders, man. I've heard really good things about you with everything else, man. So just, like I say to everyone, like, stay humble, man. Congratulations on all your success. Stay humble, but ride that wave, man. And speaking of which, Shameless Promo, February 18th, ISPW is coming back. And I believe you are taking on the Cyborg Assassin. I believe the current TCW middleweight champion, Shameless Promo, Rick Recon. That's going to be a good one. Your thoughts on working with Rick? Have you ever worked with him, or do you know him at all?
I've never worked with him before. I met him for the first time at the last ISPW show. He was a nice guy, but he's been talking a lot of trash on social media. So we'll see what happens in the ring at ISPW. That's February 18th.
That's it. Yeah, guys, get your tickets. ISPW puts on a great show, great family vibe too. The thing that I appreciated about it most was the kids like really followed the wrestlers in and out of the ring, like eventually. It was like a very cool vibe. I've never seen that before. That's
I
awesome.
might have some unfinished business though with ISPW, because after the last match, it was with Adam Payne, and him and Crowbar came out and kind of gave me the look up and down. So I would like for them to keep their distance from me at this show. That would be great.
Ooh, okay. All right. We'll keep an eye on that and see how that plays out, man. And I don't want to be cliche here, but we always like to ask this one. We're big superhero guys. What's the origin story for Leo Sparrow? Were you a fan as a kid? Like, what made you decide, like, hey, I want to do this?
Yeah. Fan as a kid. So when I had the match on Raw, the first thing I did when I went back was obviously say hi to all my friends that were there. But before I went on social media, before I responded to any text messages, I called the guy, a family friend who brought me to my first wrestling show and introduced me to wrestling. And I was like, it was late. It was like 11 o'clock at night. I was like, I know you're sleeping, but I just want to let you know, I just wrestled on Monday Night Raw, and it wouldn't have happened if you didn't bring me to my first wrestling show at the Nassau Coliseum.
Wow.
So I need to call you and say thank you, because without you bringing me to my first wrestling show, I would be in a totally different spot because of the amount of my life that wrestling has taken up. So I made sure to do that. That was in 2009. And then after that, I think I got the video game and magazine subscription and started watching on TV, and then it blew up.
That's amazing.
Now here we are.
So
I had an internship with WWE.
Really?
This summer. It was scheduled for summer 2020, but that didn't work out. I was living in Manhattan. I was going to commute to Stamford every day.
Wow.
But they canceled it because of COVID. So as a result, I was like, all right, I'll sign up for Creative Pro. And
wow. Usually it's like the other way, like, they try to do the bumps and wrestling is not for them, then they go the other side. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's wild, man. I love that story. And watching, obviously you went to your first show, you started watching the subscription, all that. Not to be cliche, man, we always like to ask who were your guys and girls? Like who did you gravitate towards?
My first guy was Zack Ryder.
Really?
Zack Ryder. Yeah, that was my guy. After that was Dolph Ziggler. Big Dolph Ziggler, big Zack Ryder guy.
That's awesome, man. And Cardona right now, man, he's wild. He's killing it. And I got to ask this one. I was going to ask this later, but let's ask this now, because with these forbidden doors, with a lot of this AEW talent going everywhere to these indie shows, we just saw Seidel at the last show, the ISPW show. It's amazing. I love seeing it. I think everybody wins. That's what's all about, building bridges. You've got these big companies coming to these smaller companies. It's amazing to see. I have a guess that you're going to say Cardona, but who would you want to work on that national level that you haven't worked yet?
On the national level.
Like on TV, yeah. Because it can happen, man. Would you want to take on Cardona, or is he a little too crazy right now for you?
Cardona, that'll happen. I have no doubt. It'll happen.
Okay. I like that. I like
big
that
fan of
confidence.
keeping things into existence. I know what'll happen. But
Okay, I
at
like that.
Creative Pro, we have our annual goal setting session. So we write down a few wrestlers that we would like to wrestle that year.
Right.
It can be totally out of the blue, total dream matches, or local, like can happen. But the three that I put were cheeseburger, because
Good
I want to
answer.
have a cheeseburger versus vegan match.
It writes itself.
Right. Thank you. Storytelling. Second is Ziggler, and I just because I'm a Ziggler guy. And then third, I put Ultimo Dragon.
Ooh, that's a great. See, that's a
I
great
will.
answer. I love that, man. Yeah, manifest that. That's amazing to happen, and it can happen these days. That's amazing.
Oh, it will.
It will, man. I like that booking versus cheeseburger. That's brilliant. And I do want to talk about like also the origin of the gimmick, man. I'm imagining you got the whole, hey, take, and again, I'm just commentary. I am not an in-ring competitor. That is your world. But I'm imagining you got the whole, hey, take a lot of you, turn it up to 11, like they always say, and kind of, make that you. Was that kind of your philosophy, like taking like the vegan thing, or how did that come about?
In a way, yes, but the way you are explaining it is a little backwards just because of the way that I did it. So I had originally started with this gimmick. This is before I debuted. I was just like cutting promos to kind of find myself as a character called Wild Style. And it was like a very nature-based Snow White kind of if she would kick your ass
Cool.
character. And I was cutting promos and trying to find it, and nobody really got it. They're like, I kind of get it. You like animals, but I don't really get it. You got to pick a lane and go down that. And I was like, huh. Like people really hate vegans, and I was also looking into like vegan documentaries and stuff because I wasn't a vegan.
Right.
So after I was decided, oh, people really hate vegans, and I put it all together, I can morph this into the character that I already had. I decided on, okay, I'm going to do a vegan character. And Ric Flair says to have the gimmick is to live the gimmick. So I then became vegan because of the gimmick.
Wow, look at you, man. So you were really committed. So yeah, like you said, that's kind of backwards. That's awesome to hear, man. I love that. And more importantly, like, because I know so many people in the business, and my biggest thing that I pay attention to from like behind the booth is just like, are the fans connecting to you? Like whether it's a big thing or a small thing, and watching you, because I saw you at the show and then watching your match, I'm like, all right, I always try to see people live before I have them on the show, man. So it just worked out, man. I didn't know you were going to be there, but I saw you, and like the kids really gravitated to you, man. Like, when you did the character switch, did you see the feedback like immediately?
Yes. Yep. I remember just saying, I have an idea for a vegan character, and I explained it a little more. And my trainer was like, yes, you definitely have something here. Sit on it some more, come up with some things that can further your character. And you definitely have something that you can work on here.
That's awesome. And you said Max was your trainer. Are you like working with Pat Buck, Max, Ryder? Who you working with?
Yeah. So Brian Myers and Pat Buck own Creative Pro.
Right.
And then the other trainer there is Caster, sometimes Bear Bronson. So Bronson was the first one I brought it up to, and he was one who was like, yeah, you have something here. You can keep working on it.
Yeah, he's great. They're great. Anytime I saw Bear Country live, they're fantastic. I can't wait till they're really unleashed on AEW, because they ran that gauntlet at WrestlePro, and I was just like, this is why I love them so much, man. And I just can't wait till they're like totally unleashed. So that they're amazing, man.
You're at that WrestlePro show, I'm assuming.
You know what? I missed it, but I was able to watch after the fact, and I was going to go. I go to most of them, man, and I was so mad that I missed it because I did want to go specifically for that match, man. But yeah, I hope to see you at WrestlePro someday too, man. That'll be amazing.
Trying.
It'll happen, man. But that being said, this is a question we always like to ask here on the BCP. It's one of our favorite questions. I don't know if you're a big music guy or into bands or anything like that. But say you do get that WrestleMania moment, man. You had your Raw debut. You're off to a great start. What, a year and a half, whatever it is. What band or artist would you have play you down to the ring?
I'm a big Kiss fan.
Yes.
So if Kiss played me down to and they live the gimmick.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of overlap with their character in wrestling, and their music gets me pumped. So if they played me down to the ring, God of Thunder, that's what I would pick for them to play. That's what I would choose.
Dude, that might be the best answer. I was never like a huge Kiss guy. Like they had some really good songs, but like I went to see one of my favorite bands, Aerosmith, and Kiss was with them. So it was like a, dual tour.
Oh, wow.
And I was bummed out they must have been going through some stuff. Aerosmith had a lot of stuff. I saw them later and they were way better. I love Aerosmith, but Kiss went on first. And I was kind of bummed by Aerosmith. Kiss was amazing. Like you said, Live in the Gimmick, the fire, Gene Simmons is literally flying. Like it's insane. And the music is awesome. So from then I was like, Kiss is awesome, man. So that's the best answer, man. I love that. And not to be cliche, bro, but I always like to ask this one, man, because we have heard all the answers. We've heard, I want the contract. I want to open a school. I just want to travel the world. I want to make a living on the indies. We've heard it all, man. So what are the goals for you moving forward? You've done so much in a year and a half. Congratulations to you. But what are the goals for you moving forward?
So my goal with this character is to make myself valuable to where a company would say, I want to have him on my roster.
Yeah.
Because good wrestlers, you can find good wrestlers everywhere. But a good person to bridge the gap between wrestling and the mainstream, and my niche would be like the vegan mainstream. I believe this is the business student in me speaking, is how I would make myself an asset. So the goal would be to bridge the gap between wrestling, be somebody that they can send out to do media, to be a serious person and not like a jokey character.
Yeah, I love. Wow, really thought through answer. You sound like you got it together, man. He's a business student, man. So I love that. Good for you. And that's perfect because before we get out of here, we are all about that shameless promo here on the BCP. Tell everyone where they can follow you on socials, get the merch, get a piece of spinach, whatever it is, man.
Sure, you can get a spinach from me at any show that you see me live. I have some dates coming up. Let's read it off the whiteboard.
Yeah, do it.
So, February 6th, I'll be at Creative Pro in Lynbrook, New York. February 18th, I will be at Ispw in Butler, New Jersey. Let's see. April 16th, I will be at the Millennium Wrestling Federation in Boston. I'll be at really all the Creative Pro shows, all the Ispw shows. I'll be there standalone on the 29th this Saturday. I don't know when this airs. I don't know if it's before or after. So,
yeah, I got you, man. I get it up. Shameless pro. I got to put butts in seats. You know how it is, man. Yeah. I got Chad. I got you, Chad. Don't worry, bro.
Yeah.
There it is.
You can find me on social media on Instagram and Twitter at No Steak All Sizzle. You got prowrestling.com
Pop for that.
Sparrow. I got a few t-shirt designs up there with the nature aspect and fruit and vegetables and stuff like that. And if you want some spinach, you just find me at a show.
That's awesome. Hey, Mr. Sparrow, thank you so much for a few minutes of your time. Congratulations on all the early success. I hope to see you at WrestlePro very, very soon. And just keep killing it, man. Stay safe and continued success. Thank you so much, bro.
Thank you very much.
Anytime, man. Like we always say here on the BCP, everyone stay safe, stay positive, take care of each other. We out. Peace.